Her name was Alyssa Hart. She was 32 years old, a single mom, worked nights at the local grocery store, lived in a tiny apartment with her 8-year-old son Mason. Every morning, she packed his backpack, kissed his forehead, and reminded him, be kind, and eat if you can. Some days, she sent a granola bar in his lunchbox. Some days, it was empty. She always tried, but some weeks, even trying wasn't enough. Alyssa never asked for handouts. She didn't complain, didn't post online, didn't make noise, but one Thursday, she left a note. And that note would change everything. The cafeteria at Lansbury Elementary smelled like chicken nuggets and floor wax. Rows of small tables. A whiteboard near the tray return. Kids with ketchup-stained fingers and chocolate milk mustaches. Behind the counter was Mrs. Kelly, the lunch clerk. She wore a flowered apron and knew most kids by name. Every day, Mason got in line with his classmates, smiled, chose the smallest portion, and said thank you. Even when there wasn't money left on his account. Even when his tray got lighter each week. That Thursday, as lunch ended, Mrs. Kelly picked up a tray that hadn't been returned properly. Taped to it was a folded napkin. Inside, written in blue pen, was a note. It said, I'm sorry there isn't any money left on Mason's account. I'm trying, but the electric bill is due, and we're down to rice at home. Please don't shame him, please just feed him. His mom, Mrs. Kelly, held the note for a long time. She didn't cry, she just read it twice, then walked to the principal's office without saying a word. By that afternoon, the principal, Mr. Barnes, called a staff meeting. He held up the napkin, read the words out loud. Silence followed. One teacher wiped her eyes. Another clenched her jaw. How many kids do you think are eating half lunches? Someone whispered. How many moms are writing these notes in their heads, but never putting them on paper? Said another. Mr. Barnes looked around the room. We can't fix everything, he said, but we can fix this. That evening, he called the school board, then the superintendent, then a local nonprofit. By Monday, the first changes had begun. Alyssa had no idea the note would be read by anyone but the lunch lady. She just hoped Mason wouldn't be embarrassed. Wouldn't have to explain why his tray had only green beans and a half roll. She had written the note because she couldn't hold the weight anymore. Because mothers break in quiet ways. Because she didn't want to beg, but she couldn't let her son go hungry either. What she didn't know was that her quiet, handwritten plea would spark something loud. A movement. Within 2 weeks, Lansbury Elementary launched a pilot program, Meals with Dignity. Every child eats. No cost, no questions, no debt letters. A donor from the PTA paid for the first month. A bakery offered to provide free bread rolls on Fridays. A group of dads started volunteering to prep fruit in the mornings. Teachers donated part of their classroom supply budget. Even students helped. They made signs that said, everyone deserves lunch. Full bellies, full hearts. Kindness is served here. Alyssa only found out when Mason brought home a note. Mom, look, we all get lunch now. There's spaghetti and salad, and no more account stuff. She stared at the flyer in his hand. Then she saw the words at the bottom. Inspired by one anonymous parent, who reminded us what hunger really looks like. News travels fast in small towns, and in this case, it traveled with fire. By the end of the week, the Lansbury Gazette ran the headline across its front page. Note on a lunch tray sparks, big change in local school. There was a photo of the cafeteria wall, where a new sign had just gone up. Meals with Dignity, because every child deserves a full plate. The reporter, curious about the note's author, made a few calls. The school didn't give out Alyssa's name, but Mason, being a proud, happy 8-year-old, had mentioned at recess that his mom left a message that fixed lunch forever. So, gently and respectfully, the journalist knocked on Alyssa's apartment door. She answered in sweatpants, a messy bun, and slippers that had seen better days. When asked why she wrote the note, Alyssa didn't prepare a speech. She just looked down at her hands, then back at the reporter's notepad, and said softly, because my son matters, and I needed someone else to believe that too. That quote would be printed in 5 different newspapers, and shared online more than 30,000 times. But Alyssa didn't go viral. She went real, because her honesty wasn't polished or planned. It was raw, it was vulnerable, and it was what hundreds of other parents had been too afraid to say. In the weeks that followed, Meals with Dignity expanded. First to 3 more schools in the district, then to all 12. Grants came in from local organizations. A retired teacher donated her pension to cover meals for 1 full semester. Restaurants started donating leftover soups and baked goods at the end of each day. Even the high school seniors got involved. They held a fundraiser called Lunch for All and used the money to buy new trays, better utensils, and printed cards that read, "You are always welcome at this table." And Mason, he didn't know his mom was behind it all. Not at first, he just noticed that lunch felt different now. The food was warmer, the portions were bigger, there were fewer quiet stomach rumbles in the room, and more laughter. He started sitting at a different table each week, just to talk to more kids, just to share the joy. And one day, a new boy joined the school, wore the same hoodie every day, kept to himself, never opened the lunchbox he carried. Mason sat next to him and unwrapped his apple. He split it in half. "Hey," he said, sliding it over, "everyone eats here. That's just how we do it now." The boy nodded, and in that moment, the ripple from Alyssa's napkin note touched another heart. Today, every school in the county runs Meals with Dignity, not because of policy, not because of pressure, but because one mother wrote what so many had been thinking, and others finally listened. No forms, no debt slips, no lunchroom lines, with cold trays for unpaid accounts, just food, just compassion, just the quiet understanding that no child should have to earn the right to eat. And in Lansbury Elementary, just outside the cafeteria doors, there's something different now. Where there used to be a corkboard with faded posters and lost and found notes, there's a framed piece of glass. Behind it, a simple napkin, slightly wrinkled, still folded, still marked with the blue pen Alyssa used that day when she felt like she had nothing left to give. Beneath it, a plaque reads, "To the mother who reminded us, sometimes the smallest voices carry the biggest truth, and sometimes one meal can start a movement." In honor of Alyssa Hart, teachers walk their students past it every fall during the first week of school. And every year, a handful of kids ask, "Why is there a napkin in a frame?" And the teachers smile. Because that question means the lesson still matters. Alyssa still works at the grocery store, still folds Mason's laundry late at night, still walks with tired feet and carries coupons in her purse. But now, when she walks into the school for parent-teacher meetings, she's not invisible. Staff nod, other moms say hello. And Mason, he holds her hand a little tighter, because he knows, and so does the town. She didn't yell, she didn't protest, she just left a note on a lunch tray and gave her son, and hundreds of others, a seat at the table. Because real change doesn't always start with a speech. Sometimes, it starts with a mother's quiet cry for help.